Welcome to Prophetic Vision. Today we will analyze the risks we face if we choose to dedicate little space to prayer. These reflections come from a homily that we were fortunate enough to hear. These are the words of a wise and inspired man who knew how to involve the faithful with intelligence, acumen, and excellent metaphors. Stay until the end to find out what these risks are. The essence of every Christian is an established relationship with God, right? This relationship, this connection, goes beyond simply attending services, singing hymns, or even reading the Holy Bible. It's about maintaining a constant dialogue with our Creator. It's about prayer. But here's a startling statistic: only 64% of Christians pray daily. It's amazing, right? Count the remaining percentage of those who rarely or never pray. Yes, it's a significant number. Forgive us, Lord, because we are not constant. Because that's how it is. Crucial. Prayer is the thread that weaves us into the fabric of God's great plan. It is our vital connection to the divine, our direct line to God. When we fail to pray, we are like a ship lost at sea, anchorless and vulnerable to the storms that life inevitably brings us. But what happens when we neglect this important aspect of our Christian life? What happens when we let our prayers fall by the wayside? It's not just about feeling distant from God or losing touch with our spiritual side. The consequences may be more far-reaching and profound than we realize. In this video, we will explore the effects of not praying, the spiritual repercussions that may not be immediately apparent, but can significantly affect our lives. We will remove the veil and delve into the invisible, into the often overlooked spiritual dimension of our existence. We will explore how a lack of prayer can make us vulnerable to attack, diminish our spiritual power, and even make us forget how God speaks to us. This is not about fear, but rather about stimulating understanding and encouraging a deeper, more meaningful relationship with God through prayer. Being Christian means being in relationship with God, and like any relationship, it must be nourished, cherished, and put first. Prayer is the cornerstone of this relationship, the backbone of our faith. So, are you ready to delve deeper into understanding the importance of prayer? To gain insights into the spiritual dynamics at play when we fail to pray? Let's discover the real events that happen behind the scenes when we neglect prayer. The first consequence: when we don't pray, we become vulnerable to attacks. It is a common false belief among many of us that a few fleeting moments of prayer are enough to protect us from the onslaught of opposing forces. This could not be further from the truth. You see, prayer is more than just a routine or ritual. It is our line of communication with the divine, our spiritual armor on the eternal battlefield of life. Yet, research indicates that the average Christian prays for only 5 minutes a day. 5 minutes. It's like trying to cross an ocean on a paper boat. Now, consider this: our opponent is not a part-time enemy. It's not as if the devil clocks in at 5 and takes the weekend off. This entity, immersed in millennia of experience, is incessantly at work. So how can we, as part-time Christians, hope to fight against a full-time devil? It's a bit like stepping into the ring with a professional boxer after a couple of weeks of casual training. The odds of winning are against you. The battles we face, the spiritual warfare that rages around us every single day, are not conveniently timed or predictable. They strike when we least expect it. Imagine, if you will, that God grants you a glimpse into the celestial realm. You would be amazed at the number of demons and evil spirits that try to attack you every day. It is a relentless bombardment, a sophisticated network of dark forces working tirelessly to undermine your faith, your resolve, your very spirit. The second consequence is underestimating time and effort, yet, many of us believe that a 5-minute prayer is enough to repel these forces. It's like trying to put out a forest fire with a water gun. But remember, the quality of our prayers, the depth of our spiritual connection, cannot be measured in mere minutes. So, the next time you find yourself rushing through a prayer or treating it as just another item on your daily to-do list, remember this: you can't be a part-time Christian and fight a devil full-time. If only God could open your eyes to see into the celestial realm, you would be shocked at the number of demons and evil spirits that attack you on a daily basis. Prayer is like your phone battery. Now, that's an analogy we can all relate to, right? We live in a world where our phones are almost as vital as the air we breathe. Yet, how frustrated are we when our phone's battery is running low and we only have 5 minutes to charge it before running out the door? It's simply not enough time to get a substantial charge. This is very similar to our spiritual life. Attempting to sustain your spiritual vitality with short, sporadic prayers is similar to expecting a 5-minute charge to power your phone throughout the day. It will not work. Prayer is our main line of communication with God. It is through prayer that we recharge our spiritual batteries, build our faith, and fortify ourselves against life's trials and tribulations. If we spend just a few fleeting moments in prayer each day, how can we expect to have enough spiritual energy to meet the challenges that arise? A more substantial prayer life is similar to a longer charge for your phone. Be fully charged and ready to tackle whatever the day throws at you. Just as you wouldn't trust a 5-minute boost, you shouldn't rely on sporadic, short prayers to sustain your spiritual life. The greater the expectation for your life, the more time you need to spend in God's presence. So let's make sure our spiritual batteries are fully charged by spending quality time in prayer with our Heavenly Father. The third consequence of not praying is forgetting what God's voice is like. You see, communication is two-way. Just like in any relationship, the more you talk to someone, the more familiar you become with their voice. This is no different with God. Regular prayer deepens our connection with Him and enhances our ability to recognize His voice in the din of life. When we stop praying, we gradually lose this familiarity. We begin to forget what God's voice sounds like. The result? We risk mistaking other voices for yours. This danger should not be underestimated. The Bible warns us in the book of Corinthians that Satan can masquerade as an angel of light. This means that the devil, in his deception, can imitate the voice of God in an attempt to lead us astray. This is where things can get really complicated. If we are not accustomed to hearing God's voice through regular prayer, we may unintentionally follow the voice of hell, thinking it was God talking to us. This is why maintaining our spiritual sensitivity through regular prayer is so crucial. It's about being able to discern the authentic voice of God amidst a cacophony of distractions. Remember, prayer isn't just about talking to God, it's also about listening to Him. Jesus said, "My sheep know my voice." So, let's make sure we don't forget His voice. Let's make sure we give ourselves moments of prayer for our salvation and for our soul. We are loved, we reciprocate this infinite love. May God be with you and the people you love, always. Share this video with them. Thanks for following us.